do apologize, the wind is really blowing today. It seems like every time I get the opportunity to make these videos, the wind is blowing. And this is called knowing your vehicle right there. Look at that. I didn't even realize I was that close. I just happened to look, and that's like insanely close. But anyway, this is a 1972 Grand Prix, by the way. I'm sure all of you have seen that in the background, and also have seen previous videos that I've made on it. Yes, it does run, by the way. It has actually got a legal PA state inspection on it. It's registered and insured and drivable. It needs a lot of body work. Actually, as you can see here, this is a section here that I just kind of, in the words of Sean from the Hack and Pack channel on here, I kind of hacked and packed it here. So, but anyway, also replaced that whole bottom panel down there. It was all rotted all the way into the trunk. So, but this whole section was gone. But it was just a quick fix. It's definitely not a professional job. I eventually would like to, if we can get it into the garage, to do some more work on it. Like you can see, it's all starting to scale away here. So it was restored at one point before, actually, by the previous owner, or even by the person before the previous owner, if I'm not mistaken. But this whole fender up here has been packed back together too. You can probably see that too. I don't know how well the light's picking up. That's something that my brother did. Threw some metal in there and then packed it up. But anyhow, the video is actually not about this, but I just saw it there and figured, well, somebody out there is probably going to be a car, or especially a 72 Grand Prix enthusiast. But back to the original point of this video, which is we're still talking about the Blazer here, the 97 two-door Blazer. One of the things I wanted to talk about, and I started to mention it in my last video as we walk around here, we were talking about the O2 sensors and the common problems that they have as far as the wiring. And my battery actually went dead in this camera the other day whenever I was making this video, so I didn't get the opportunity to actually talk about it. So basically, just for reference, point of reference, this is the passenger side right here, and we're going to go down here into the passenger front wheel well here, and I'm going to point out to you something. Now, hopefully this camera will adjust to the lighting, and I think it just did. Good. Okay, if you see this harness right here, now if you notice how far out it is, like there's the control arm for reference, there's the frame back here, and then this wiring. Okay, now this wiring goes up along the shock absorber right there. And by the way, someone that had owned this vehicle cut this section out. It's supposed to be a piece of like, I don't even know what it is, some kind of hardened rubber of some kind, a shield that connects on these body clips here. And it's supposed to cover and shield this. It keeps your exhaust manifold bolts and stuff from getting all rusted and weather and debris getting up in there where it shouldn't be. That's the starter right in the smack dab middle of your screen. Right there's the starter, if you can see it. So they have on certain websites, you can order those panels. Like here's some of it left right here. So I'm gonna check it out. I think it's LMC or LCM. LMC or LCM, and I apologize if I'm getting that wrong, is a company that sells a lot of body kits and a lot of just random parts you just can't get anywhere, you know, like at an auto parts for Blazers and S10s and Sonomas and things like that. So, but back to the point here, this wiring harness, if you see here, has this shiny like aluminum type of tape. That's like a heat tape that's supposed to keep the heat off it. And you see this little, I don't know how well it's picking up, this little clip there that uses sort of like a teeth that go down into a pre-drilled hole on the frame there. What they did was they actually ran this wiring. These run all the O2 sensors on the right side. Actually, one of the O2 sensors wires, if you see right in there, that blue and the multicolored wires, that's one of the plugs for one of the O2 sensors that run down to the exhaust. There's actually 4 O2 sensors on this vehicle. And what happens is this wiring is just a terrible design, and the reason why I have it zip tied and pulled away and zip tied here away so far was because the original root of it was all the way up to here on the frame, which if you look is the exhaust manifold. So what was happening is that the exhaust manifold was the heat from it was just disintegrating the wires and melting them. Now, I got lucky. I did not have that happen to me, but on my brother's Blazer, he has a 2002, the wires had literally just melted, disintegrated. There was like, the wires were almost completely severed. It had gotten so hot. It had gotten too close to the exhaust and the exhaust manifold there. So something to look out for, guys. If you ever, you know, have a O2 sensors that just keep acting all crazy and you've replaced them all and you're still having codes left and right and communication problems and things like that, come down here and check these wires. What I did, I know you're not supposed to solder O2 sensor wires, but I wasn't going to spend the money to get the harness, was on my brother's O2 Blazer, I actually cut out, there was a section probably from here all the way down to here that had melted. The wires were gone. So I went to where the wires weren't hardened anymore and soldered in all new sections of wires and used heat shrink or wire heat shrink on it to cover it up. And then I put new plastic casing and then electrical tape around it, and then did the same thing I did with mine, is I rerouted it out here for, I mean, granted it's out here by the elements, but I do have it wrapped in electrical tape, and I'd rather have it out in the elements than up against that exhaust manifold. So something to look for. From what I understand, that happens a lot on these. It was a bad choice of GM to run that wiring like that through there. So I'm going to show you, and then the wiring, like I said, goes right up here past the shock mount there. I'm going to show you here under the hood where it comes out. I might have to back it up here because I didn't even realize I pulled that close here to the 72 Grand Prix. So once again, like I said, if you get O2 sensor codes, especially more than one, before you rush out like we did and make the mistake of replacing a whole bunch of O2 sensors, check them wiring down there, you know. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this up here. Turn the radio off so we don't blast ourselves out here. So the gas mileage, by the way, I had mentioned in my previous video that I'd replaced Bank 1 Sensor 3, which is the last O2 sensor on the downstream. It's the post-cat. I replaced that, like I'd mentioned in the last video, and my fuel economy has almost returned just about to where it was. And there is a slight, almost not like a stall, but surge that it has, where it like dips and idle, where it kind of and then it picks up every freak moment. It'll do it, like so random. It's typically whenever I go to pull out or turn the steering wheel or go to accelerate, like if I'm in a parking spot and I'm getting ready to pull out, occasionally I'll run into that. But I don't know if it's because the battery went dead the other day whenever I was working on the ball joints, because I left the stereo on too long inside listening to it. And idiot me, I let the battery go dead. So I'm sure the computer is going through a relearn process after having the computer reset. So that's my theory of why it's still not idling as good as it should. But the reason why I had to replace that O2 sensor, just for reference in case somebody did not watch that video, was because the issue I was having was the Bank 1 Sensor 3 had an issue with the, it said circuit had high voltage, which could mean many things. A, the sensor's bad, B, you have a bad cat, or C, could also mean that you're running rich, you know, as far as the idle goes. So, you know, sometimes, you know, things like that just happen. And it can be just a freak random thing here. Let's pop the hood. Sometimes it can be just one of those freak things that happen. I mean, when you're dealing with computers and vehicles, you know, nothing surprises me. And all this wind blowing today, I'm going to make you seasick and blind. Wind is like crazy out here. I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania here, and it's wasn't even supposed to get above 44 according to the weather I read up on my iPhone, but for the local weather, but it's actually 52 degrees right now. I was supposed to go over to a buddy's today and do a outer tie rod in a XC90 2005 Volvo I think it's 2.4 turbo. I was supposed to do an outer tie rod on it for him today, and also check our power steering pump too. I was supposed to do on it, which I'm not convinced yet that it's the power steering pump. I think it's the idler pulley, but I haven't had a chance to get over there and diagnose it. But anyway, I'm babbling again. Once again, for reference, this is the passenger side. Coming up, there's the battery, there's a coolant reservoir, there's the computer, or the PCM, I guess they would call it. And if you look right here, this wiring here, this is the wires that go down to the O2 sensor. And the ones that are on the right side of the vehicle, let me make sure I'm clear on that. There's also one over on the left side vehicle. I have no idea where those wires are. I have never tracked them back. By the way, guys, if anybody ever does a blower motor on these, they're not terrible, but what a pain in the neck. Once again, I don't know what in the world GM was thinking with this. There's the blower motor. It's crammed in here. Here's the fender right here. It was a pain in the neck. I mean, the other thing that's kind of funny here was I don't think this camera is even going to pick this up. Where you see it says cut for motor service, cut here. So they want you to cut this brittle plastic out of here and cut this out. There's an arrow, and you have to cut this whole section out to get to the blower motor. It's enclosed with this real crappy, it's almost like, look at that, look how it just broke off. It's like a rubbery plastic something or other. I mean, I don't even know what the hell this is. Bizarre, really bizarre. I mean, I almost, I could say it's all busting apart. That's probably where some of my noise is coming from up here. But anyway, like the other video too I wanted to talk about too was the ball joint video I did. So all the front end noise has gone away basically, by the way, since I replaced those ball joints. This front end handle's fantastic now. So, but if you look down here, if you see, let's see if I can even get that. Okay, I'm gonna touch it. You see this wire harness right there? My fingers touching. It kind of runs down into the dark there. That's the wire harness that we watched or followed that went down by the strut mount there, the shock mount. It comes up, like I said, and it sneaks up behind here, sneaks up down inside there, down along the AC here, and excuse me, and it plugs in, and then eventually it routes into the computer here through one of these plugs. I have no idea. I'll have to look and see. But anyhow, yeah, I mean, this is a good service point. What you can do is you can separate this plug here, and you can volt test for continuity the wiring from here, and then go down to each O2 sensor. And the wires are dirty, but they are color coded, so it helps you track them. So just a little FYI, if anybody finds that useful, I hope they do. But check them wiring on here. It's very common on these Blazers, these the Sonomas, the Jimmys, all these S10s, all these vehicles did the same thing. They had the same wiring diagram almost for each one of them. Now my brother's is the O2. His supposedly only has 3 O2 sensors on it, I believe, and but it still had the same wire harness that went down there. So check it out, guys. Like I said, if you're having an O2 issue problem, don't go rushing out replacing your O2 sensors right away. They can get pricey. I did find mine on Rock Auto for like 20 bucks, so came to like 24 something after shipping, which I didn't think was terrible. So way cheaper in Advanced Auto wanted, I think it was like 56 bucks or something like that for it, which I thought was extortionate. But a lot of people also talk, just to bring this up too, about the ABS control module having problems on these. My brother's is actually acting up on his 2002. He's going to send his away. There's some companies on eBay. We're going to do our research obviously first. It's supposedly rebuild these control modules for these, but now I'm going to say it, so I'll probably have a problem now that I'm making a comment. But as of right now, I have not had a problem with my ABS. I've had the wheel sensors go bad, which are basically just magnets, and actually I don't even think they were bad. I meant to mention one of my previous videos discussing the ABS wheel speed sensors. I don't think they were bad. I actually bent the metal shield a little bit when I was putting the wheel back on one day, and it caused the magnet that's mounted to the backsplash metal shield to rub against, there's a word for it, it's the thing with teeth on it. It's going to come to me later. I hate when I'm making these videos, I can never remember the names for things, but there's like a exciter ring, I think. Exciter ring? I think it's called an exciter ring that's on the inside of the wheel bearing. That the magnet reads, and the magnet was rubbing against it because I bent the shield and caused the distance between the exciter ring and the magnet to actually make contact. Thus I kept getting a random intermittent ABS light. So I should comment on that video, or try to come up with a way to put in a description, a video specifically in regards to that, because a lot of people are still texting me, oh, it could be this, or I'm not texting me, but replying on comments on there, oh, it could be this, could be that, but I actually did find the problem. I just neglected to put up answers on YouTube as far as letting everybody know I did find the problem and fixed it. So, but if anybody is watching this and they've watched that ABS video, like I said, it was just me. I'd bent that shield and it caused the magnet sensor to rub against the exciter ring of the wheel bearing, which was tripping the light. So this is one of the very rudimentary entry-level ABS systems. This particular 97 vehicle ABS system is really just not that advanced. So I didn't think there was anything major with it. In fact, when I put the diag tool on it, it didn't even talk to the ABS control module. It basically gave me the finger. So the only thing I have left to do is, like I said, I replaced the ball joints on this guy. There's Mevotech that I'm very impressed with. Maybe I can get down here and try to get this camera to focus so I can show you them real quick. But this is the Mevotech. I don't know if you can see how well you can see that, the blue there. That's the new axle I put in. I also replaced that seal in there too, on the right where the axle goes into the front differential. So that's not leaking anymore. So that's finally taken care of. Looks like it's dry. I'll have to get up there and spray some cleaner on there to make sure, but it looks like it's dry. There's a little damp, but I don't think it's leaking. I think it's just from the gear oil that had leaked out of the differential when I had put the drive shaft in. Had a little trouble getting that axle in there, believe it or not. The old one went in and out, popped in, no problem, but had some trouble getting that in there. I don't know if the teeth weren't machined quite right. I was once again advanced dealing with these cheap aftermarket parts. Here's a quick snapshot of the view. So let's see how well. I'm gonna make you guys seasick here. Let me try to get up in here. I don't know how well that's picking up, but there's the upper ball joint. I don't know how well that's showing up. It's blue, not leaking, as you can see. Here's the lower ball joint that I did. Mevotech brand again, like I said. This is a real nice hardware kit. The bolts there, you can probably see the bolts hanging down right next to the blue there. So next thing it needs to replace on here is actually the idler arm, which has a little play in here. I don't think I'm going to be able to get you into the idler arm to show you where it's at from this angle. Probably not. There's a shield, a splash shield on here that you have to basically take out. Now what's all this down here, I wonder? Let's take a look here. We got some water down here. Looks like I got a little bit of a coolant leak here, guys. Kind of interested or intrigued that I found this. When I first bought the vehicle, this bottom rad hose down here wasn't tightened down all the way. I just tasted it. It has a sweet taste to it. And I've been noticing a slight loss in coolant. And I think maybe once I'm done making this video, I'll grab a flashlight and I'll go down in here and take a look. But on the bottom of the rad mount there's a little bit of coolant there that's chilling down there. I don't know if it's when some might have spilled over the other day when I had this cap off. Let's take a look here. It could have been from when I took the cap off. Okay. As you can see, I just leaked a bunch of down out of there now. So we're gonna say that it's not leaking because I don't think it's leaking. I haven't really smelled coolant or anything like that. So we're gonna go with saying that we're good on this. I don't feel like messing with putting a radiator in this damn thing. I am running the Spectrum filter on there, or Spectra, or whatever they call it, the high flow air filter. So well, it's starting to get a little cold out here with this wind. I'm only in a t-shirt. I probably should be wearing a coat. But other than that, like I said, I'm going to wrap this up because I could go on for, well, I did. I just went on for 20 minutes talking about nothing here with the Blazer, which is easy for me to do because I like cars. I'm sure anybody that's watching this probably also likes cars and is hoping to learn some things. So that's it. I'm going to probably wrap this up, guys. But I appreciate everybody for watching, and I hope this information I shared with you about the O2 sensor wire harness there going along that exhaust manifold is an issue, and I hope somebody finds that information to be useful and resourceful. And please rate, comment, subscribe, and I can try to keep these videos coming for you. So y'all have a good day, and thanks for watching.